Hello, my name's Aidan Kane, and today I'm going to be doing my springboard presentation. To tell you a little about myself, throughout high school, I was a sporty kid, played three sports for 4 years, did a lot with friends, and to be honest, my project, I never thought I would do anything like it, and it was very outside of my comfort zone, but I thought it was pretty cool. So my project was Mercersburg male fashion expressing individuality. Where did I start and why? When I signed up to take Com Arts, I really had no idea what to expect. I did not know that the class would be mostly taken up by a project of our choice. When I was told about this project, I thought of doing a project based around photography or drawing. I was heavily leaning towards drawing for my project due to me really enjoying it and just having fun with it. My mindset soon shifted towards photography, and I had no idea what to do. There are a few different kinds of photography and projects that I could have attempted, but I chose to do something revolving around fashion and focusing on males on campus. What challenges did I face? I honestly faced many challenges throughout my project. To list a few, I had to figure out how to use an advanced camera. Um, had to create a setup for the photos I'd be taking and finding people that were actually down and interested in being photographed. Shortly after deciding to focus my project on fashion, Miss Pixler gave me an overview on how to use my camera and all the techniques I would need to use. As a class, we went over how to set up a backdrop, but before this, I didn't really know much like how to set up for fashion photography or any photography really. Um, what are some strengths that I brought to the project? So some strengths I brought to my project um, was I had experience with a photography class at my old school, but all of it was pictures from my phone and editing apps on my phone, so it wasn't as advanced, I would say. Another strength I had was I committed to the challenge. I never really did anything like this, but I was open to trying it, and I really had to have a good attitude at all times, and I had to complete my work in class and for homework to ultimately finish my project. What did you have to learn to complete your project? I had to learn a lot actually. I had to do a lot of research revolving around fashion photography. So, what this looked like was me going on websites and um, looking up photographers that focus in fashion photography. And this is where I got like ideas for my angles and lighting, really. Um, I had to learn how to use an advanced camera. I've never picked up a camera like that. But at the start of the class, Miss Pixler really taught me everything I needed to know. And then finally, I had to learn how to use InDesign, which is where I ultimately made my book. Um, I used Lightroom to edit my photos, but InDesign is where I ultimately put everything together. And I'd never used that before. That's a photo of the InDesign app, and then um, that's kind of pictures that I looked at for reference. Who did I work with? For this project, I worked with Miss Pixler, Max, Gordon, and Tristan. Miss Pixler gave me so much advice on how to use my camera, make my setup, and she helped me change the flow around in my book to make it really come together. And then Max, Gordon, and Tristan were three of my classmates that let me photograph them. What was the shooting process like? So the shooting process happened um, over a couple weeks. Um, my first attempt, it was just me and Gordon, and I was really just getting a feel for things, but the photos I actually ended up using because they came out really well. There were some days where Tristan, Gordon, and Max just wore one outfit, and some days I had them bring a few. And it was just taking turns with them, getting a lot of the same shots, but um, with them having different outfits and facial expressions. Like they were able to express their individuality, which was kind of the goal of my project. What was the editing process like? So the editing process wasn't too difficult. Here I show how the top left is the original photo, but I had to crop it and then switch the lighting up a little to keep it with that white backdrop and keep my um, photos consistent throughout. A lot was changing the lighting, but I ended up not having to do too much editing due to the fact that um, my lighting was very good on my backdrop, and I wanted to keep everything consistent throughout my book. What was the process of putting the final project together? So, I was very unfamiliar with how to use InDesign, the program I used to create my book. But some students in the class at Miss Pixler helped teach me the ins and outs of the program. From prior research and sketching, I knew how I wanted my book to look. I knew quotes I wanted to include, and I really just wanted it to flow well. But um, kind of like the length of the book changed throughout my process. I thought it was going to be a lot shorter, like 14 pages, but it ended up being really long. I was going to have a lot of photos on one page, really, like one page for Gordon, one page for Max, and one for Tristan. But Miss Pixler thought it was a better idea to spread them all out. But I also kept that original idea, and for each person, I had one page where they had the same outfit on, and it was a lot smaller pictures. And then my overall reflection on my project is it was a lot of fun. It was going outside of my comfort zone. It was doing something I've never done before. Also, being a new school, Tristan, Gordon, and Max were um, three guys I didn't really know too well, but they were awesome to work with, and I appreciate everything they did to help me. And overall, I really enjoyed um, making Mercersburg male fashion expressing individuality.